It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. This is the program that takes the mystery out of your financial life. I am your host, Jill Schlesinger. I'm the CBS News business analyst, and I'm also a certified financial planner. So that means I love hearing about what's going on for you. And the best part of what we do is helping you guide you towards what you think would be the best choice for you. See, that's what's so cool about this. The show is about you, what's going on in your financial life. We're just here to give you the opportunity to figure out what makes the most sense. So if you'd like to get in touch with us, all you need to do is go to our website, jillonmoney.com. jillonmoney.com. And in the top right-hand corner, there is a button. It says Contact Us. When you press that button, you write us a note. That is the email we receive. And if you would like to join us live on the program, all you need to do is check the box, and we'll do everything else. While you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It comes out every single Friday, which is a great way to tune up for this show. Right now, let's get started. We're talking to Jane and Matt. They join us from Arizona. Hello, you two. How are you? What can we do for you?
Hey, Jill. We're doing well. How are you guys?
What's happening? What's going on? I mean, Scottsdale, so nice. All of Arizona. I'm a big fan of Tucson also. So what is it that we can do for you? How can we help you out today?
So longtime listeners and have been thinking about this, and we're coming upon retirement, we think, within the next year, probably less than that. And so assuming all the models we've run, the scenarios, I feel like we're there. You know, ready to step away. I want to do something different. I know that typically you're thinking, well, what do you want to do next? I have ideas. It's retiring to, not retiring from. But the biggest thing I think we want to nail down is our decumulation strategy, because we're pretty knee deep in some tax deferred assets. We have a meeting with our financial advisor coming up, and we just don't want to go into it blindly. We're trying to do all of our prep on our side, so we can compare notes with him and just looking for an unbiased opinion on what we're facing.
Okay, that's awesome. How old are you guys?
54, soon to be 55, both of us.
Oh my God, you're so young. Wow. Will you guys be entitled to pensions?
I will have a lump sum pension that's going to pay out over the summer. The company has decided to do the lump sums instead of, they froze it years ago. So I think that they're just unburdening themselves.
Okay. And how much will that be, that lump sum?
About $30,000.
And then what other retirement assets do you have, Jane, that this lump sum would be added to?
401k. Do we want to start there?
Sure, why not?
1.5 million in a 401k.
Not taxed yet.
Correct.
Okay.
I do have a stock plan with some RSUs and options for 2025 that vests. That's approximately, let's say, 55 grand that's going to dump into there.
Okay.
Husband has a traditional IRA at 850,000. We do have a joint Roth.
What do you mean a joint Roth? There's no such thing.
Okay. Well, it's a Roth.
Someone has a Roth. It's either in your name or his name.
Correct. That's 80 grand.
What about the brokerage account? What do you got?
It's just over $1 million.
So we've got the lump sum payout, your traditional, there's a little Roth, there's a traditional IRA in Matt's name, and we have the brokerage account. The stock plan is going to get added to the brokerage account. Any other assets that are in invested accounts? There
is an HSA of approximately 32,000.
Oh, that's great. When I look at like the cash accounts, do you include like the cash on hand inside of that brokerage account, or do you have something outside of the brokerage account that's cash or cash equivalents?
Savings outside of that, 110 grand.
You guys own your home?
We do, yeah.
How much is it worth?
625, paid off.
Paid off. Great. How is the room for me and Mark? Can we visit?
Well, we do have another property you could stay at if you.
Oh, so is that a rental property?
It is. It's a short-term rental right now, and we're considering selling that. Actually, I think we've made the decision to sell it this fall. So that's another.
How much is that worth?
Approximately $625.
Oh, two 625s, a pair of 625s.
Yeah.
And is there no mortgage on that one either?
There's a mortgage on it of $385,000 remaining.
Did you buy it, at a much lower value?
No, not really. I mean, it's appreciated. It's appreciated some since we purchased it.
Are you declaring the short-term rental income as rental income flowing through on your tax returns?
We are, Jill, but it's been, here's one of the challenges we've been facing. So it approximately costs about, let's say, $38K for the rental. One season we were able to break even. Here in the recent seasons, it's probably brought in around $20K, and we do shut it down over summer and when we go back to visit family and so forth. So it's it costs.
Well, so the only thing that I just want to point out, since you're going to sell it in this year, is make sure do you ever have a CPA or a tax filing service or person you work with?
We do. We just had a conference with her about this. Yes.
Fabulous. Because she's going to tell you, well, it may not feel like you've made a lot of money, but I depreciated it. And now when we sell it, I have to capture the depreciation. So just know that there could be some tax due. That's all. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it because you've got a lot of equity, right?
Right.
And so it'd be nice to unlock that equity as you approach your retirement, right? So, whatever, 240, let's say it's 200 grand you'll net.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Okay. So that'll go into the brokerage account, which is fabulous. So that's another 200,000 from house sales. Is there anything else you want to do with that money? Are you going to tell me that, in the summer we want to go north and we want to invest that $200,000 from the house proceeds to buy something else or not?
No, we were, thinking of, we're going to have to pay for health insurance in some form. So we're pretty much trying to stockpile, cash.
So what's the game plan on that? Are you guys thinking Affordable Care Act for 10 years, kind of?
The networks are so narrow. We're not having good luck finding, you can get coverage, but to get care is a whole nother equation. There's some other options of crowd sharing type services that we're looking into. So there's
but neither of you wants to get another job. You're not going to be baristas to get health insurance, is what you're telling me.
No, highly unlikely.
All right. So you're saying, let's look at that house proceeds, that 200 grand plus whatever's in the HSA. We're going to burn that up. That's going to pay for healthcare, essentially.
Yes.
All right. This is great. Do you have kids? Grown?
No kids.
No kids.
No kids. We're dog people, but no dog currently.
It's hard to have dogs in Arizona. I knew this because I had friends who lived in Scottsdale, and it was traumatic getting the dog used to the hot weather. Basically meaning that in the summer they had to get that dog up very, very, very early and walk the dog.
That's true.
A lot.
Yeah, you do have to adjust getting up early. And so that is a challenge.
All right. But I think you should get a dog. Okay. Now, in terms of your spending, what is it that you, and again, let's presume that the short-term rental is sold. Now, tell me what you think you spend on a monthly or annual basis.
10 grand a month.
That's it?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's on the high end. It can range 8 to 10. So instead of picking 9, let's go with 10.
Let's go with 10. I like that. We'll get back to Jane and Matt in just a moment. It's the Jill on Money Show.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we are here talking through whatever financial situation is going on in your life. It may be that you're looking at 2 different jobs. Maybe you're thinking about buying a home. Maybe you're thinking about retirement or how to fund your kids' college education. Whatever it is, we're here for you. All you need to do is go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, JillOnMoney.com, and click the Contact Us button. Now, when you write that note, if you don't want to join us live, give us a lot of detail. If you do want to come on the air with us, just check the box and we'll do everything else. While you're on the website, may I point out that you should check out Jill on Money Live. That is our subscription service where for $45 for the next 12 months, you have access to quarterly live webinars, as well as the entire back catalog of webinars and bonus audio and video content. And just in a few days, we are going to have a very awesome guest for our webinar. That live webinar will be with Mike Quincy on Thursday, June 5th. So just a few days away. Mike Quincy is the Consumer Reports automotive expert, and he is going to tell us what the heck is going on with the crazy car market as the tariff regime starts to sink in. If you want to join us for the webinar, again, you've got to shell out the $45. You'll get 3 more webinars after this, and that will entitle you to Jill on Money Live. Lots of other cool stuff that lives behind that paywall, so please check it out. Right now, let's get back to Jane and Matt from Arizona. All right, so let's do some math. Mark, are you ready to math with me? It's going to be fun. So, Mark, we have
3.7.
3.7 wait, total, or let's do traditional first. Don't even include that Roth. So we have the 1.5, right? And then the 850, right? That's our like what we're on the hook for in terms of RMDs. Correct? There's nothing else. Okay. It's 1.5 plus the lump sum payment. It's 880 and 1.5. Okay, Mark? Let's grow that for 10 years. Tell me what you got at age 65 at that point.
Yeah, you're north of 4 million.
All right. So that would be 4 million at age 65. Okay. I'm just looking at this now. So then we have the brokerage account and the Roth account. When you're looking at your strategy, and I'll talk about decumulation in 1 second, what are you thinking about in terms of claiming Social Security? Are you going to claim at age 67?
We haven't, we're not married to it, or we do have the numbers of what the benefit would be.
All right. What's your benefit at 67 or 70?
So it's 67 for me. It's 3,300 and it's 3,100 for him.
Okay. 3,300 and 3,100 at 67. And what about at age 70 for you guys?
Roughly, say, I think 4,000. I looked at the estimates recently. So,
okay. So
yeah.
Instead of 6,400, about $8,000.
Yes.
Okay. The question is, and I'm going to ask Mark this, do you want to invoke the rule of 55 to start pulling money out of that 401k that has not yet been taxed, Mark?
If the plan allows it, I would certainly consider that. Yeah.
So part of a decumulation strategy is kind of like, it's sort of twofold. What we know is you have a bunch of money, right? It's most of your money has not been taxed yet. There is a rule that allows you, if your plan allows it, to tap money out of a 401k before the age of 59 and a half, as early as age 55, hence the rule of 55. And you could pull money out of that account a little bit at a time. Okay. And that is a pretty interesting idea for you guys, because you would avoid having that money pile up, be forced to take the money out. You get the money out sooner, live on it, because we have to replicate this 10 grand a month, right?
Right.
So if you pulled 150 grand out or so, and you paid the tax that's due, you're in the 22% tax bracket, and you live on what you pull out of that 401k, that's pretty good. That's pretty close there. And if you did that for, let's say, 10 years, and you essentially started to deplete your 401k slowly but surely over the next 10 or 12 years, then you get to age 65, 67, then the Social Security benefit kind of kicks in. You have the money that's in the brokerage account. You also have the old traditional IRA that's still bubbling up, because we can only tap money from the 401k and invoke the rule of 55. You can't do it with a traditional IRA.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that when we talk about decumulation for you guys, we would say, how about we live on your 401k? If, again, you have to check to see if you're allowed to use the rule of 55 in your plan.
They do recognize it.
They do. Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic. So essentially, I would use that take all the money out of that as I possibly could over the next, say, 10 years. You'd essentially get, I think you'd probably deplete it over 10 years or so, maybe a little bit. I don't know. It'll depend on markets, but let's just say it's done. But the traditional IRA will continue to grow over the next 10 years. You could use that if you wanted to once the 401k is depleted. You then turn to the traditional IRA, start using that. And then once you are claiming Social Security, either at 67 or 70, we're now like off to the races because we haven't touched your brokerage account and we haven't touched the traditional IRA or the Roth. Now, is there any idea, like you said, okay, we're going to retire too. Is there any hope, dream of making a little bit of cash on the side or not?
We want to volunteer more with the rescue organizations for dogs. So we haven't
counted on additional income.
That's fine. You don't need to. I mean, if it happened, it happens. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. Please don't feel like you have to. I think it works. So the advisor that you're meeting with, does that person manage the traditional IRA and the brokerage account?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of investments are in those accounts? Are they mutual funds? Are they?
Yes.
Are they? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
How do you pay this person?
So he is a fiduciary.
Good.
It's a minimal fee.
Assets.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's like 1% of assets under management.
Exactly.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay. If for some reason this person says, "I have a great idea. Let's take that 401k, or let's take your traditional IRA and invest it in an annuity," do not do anything like that. Do not buy any product. Do not buy any product. I want to say this 3 times. Ready for your third time? Please do not buy any product. Even fiduciaries could probably make a case that you guys might want to consider an annuity because they would say, look, we'll take that traditional IRA, we'll, invest it for a few years, but then we'll start pumping money out. It'll be a guaranteed monthly income. But there can be a shuck and jive on this. It's not the right thing for you. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Okay.
So if this person happens to bring up an annuity, you need a new advisor.
Okay. Noted.
All right. Now, what else do we need to know about this? Does this plan seem reasonable to you? I mean, the healthcare thing is a big deal. So I'm going to leave that to you guys, but you got to have coverage. We want to make sure you have 10 years of coverage. And I think you're right that, you're going to need 10 or 15 grand just for that. So that's why I think it's good that you have the house proceeds to pay for that.
Yeah, no, I think that this makes sense. It's, confirming what we're thinking. Our biggest, aside from the planning, is just trying to avoid any unforced errors, I guess, moving forward. You tend to.
Well, I don't think there'll be an unforced error if you avoid buying product. I think the only unforced error would be someone convincing you that you need something that you probably don't need. Also, an unforced error might be if an advisor were like, oh, let's roll your 401k over to your traditional IRA, but you lose the ability to invoke the rule of 55.
Okay.
That would be the unforced error. Are you working through different financial scenarios? Don't do it alone. We can help you out. Just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. It's the Jill on Money Show. We'll be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. We are here trying to help you make better, sometimes just less bad financial decisions. Right now, let's talk to Annie. She joins us from Washington State. Hello, Annie. What can we do for you?
Hi there. Thank you so much for taking my call. I really appreciate all your wisdom and advice that I've heard you give others.
Oh, very sweet. Well, what's going on? How can we help you?
Well, I'm turning 65 in a few days, and I'm going to retire from my part-time state job after 22 years at the end of this month.
Wait a minute. You're turning 65 in a few days. Congratulations. You
Oh,
feeling good? You feel healthy?
Yep.
All right,
Figure
great.
it's time to have some more fun than just work.
Oh, absolutely. My goodness. Okay. So you said you were working part-time in a job that gives you a pension?
Yes, I've been there. I work 75%. So I will get a pension, now that I turned 65, which is why I decided to quit.
Okay. What will the pension be?
About $1,100 a month.
Okay, great. Annie, are you single, married, partnered?
I am single.
Kids, no kids, grown kids?
I have 2 grown kids.
Do you support them in some way?
I do at times, yes.
Okay, got it. All right, so you've got this pension that will start up, and you've saved a bunch of money as well. Is that right?
I have some. I don't know how much it is, but I do have some savings.
Okay, well, so did you also, in addition to the pension, did you have a deferred compensation plan?
I do, yes. I have the compensation plan, which has $448,000 in it.
Great. That's fantastic. Okay, 448 in that. Okay, what else do you have in terms of retirement savings?
There's also a 401A plan, which is associated with a state job that has $103,000 in it.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? Old IRA, old retirement account?
I have a 401k Roth with $47,000 and a 401k pre-tax at $82,000.
That's great. You saved a lot of money.
And then I have an IRA, old one that has $12,000 in it. So those are the retirement accounts.
Okay. What about other accounts that you have? Like any non-retirement brokerage account, anything like that?
I don't have any brokerage accounts, but I do have I-bonds that are $27,000. I have high yield savings account that has $63,000 in it, and $210,000 in CDs.
Whoa, that's a bigger number than I thought it was going to be. I was sort of going down. Okay. And those CDs mature over some period of time?
Yeah, between now and 5 years.
Okay. So laddered for 5 years. Okay. Great. Do you own your home?
I do, yeah. It's worth about $650,000 and I've paid it off.
And you want to stay there?
Yeah, for at least for the next 5 to 7 years, I figure I'll stay.
Okay. All right. And you said you work part-time, and you're going to give this up soon. Will you be done working overall at that moment, or do you want to keep working, doing something else?
No, I do also own a business, which is why I've been working 3/4 time at the state. I have a business that I'm going to continue to work with. But of course, there's depending on the impact of the tariffs may have, it's hard to tell at this point because we are direct importing things from Europe. So I don't feel like
Well, it's only 10% tax. There's that.
Right. So I don't know if I can count on it, long term in the future in terms of that we sell the business or whatever do. But I should be able to still receive the current guaranteed payments that I get.
How much is that?
It's $4,400 a month.
Until when?
Well, that of course is the open-ended question. I'm not sure.
Okay. Once you are done with work, then are you going to then be on Medicare?
Yes, I will actually switch over to Medicare as of June.
What do you think is your spending on an annual basis or a monthly basis? What do you think you're spending?
Well, my fixed expenses are around $2,700 a month.
Okay. And now add some fun in.
Yeah, and then with fun and helping out the kids, then, I'm estimating $5,000, maybe a little
total.
less.
And not an additional 5,000, but a total of 5,000?
Yeah, total, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So $5,000 a month. When do you think you're going to claim Social Security? You're going to do your full retirement age? You're going to try to wait till 70?
Well, I'm actually going to collect on my late husband's account January of 27.
January of 27. Okay. And how much would that be?
About $2,100.
Okay.
Switch to my own at 70, which should be around $3,000 a month.
So really, between Social Security and your pension of $1,100 a month, forgetting about the guarantee of the payment from your business, you're pretty close to getting the money you need, right? I mean, when you think about it, and is your pension adjusted for inflation?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So you'll have, you've got you got a good chunk of money that's, more than halfway there, let's say, or let's even say halfway because it's pre-tax. Okay. Next up is what happens if the guaranteed payment goes away? Because obviously if that payment continues, you're fine, right? Your expenses are, you can do that. You've got your pension plus the $4,400 a month would be fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if that goes away? What's the game plan then?
Well, my plan is actually to buy a couple of annuities. I know you don't like them, but I am planning on doing that for an additional $1,700 a month that we get for 3 years.
Why? Okay, I'm going to whine right now. Hold on a second.
Wine, but it's just because I'm so risk averse, and I would like to know.
But you could be risk averse and you could still be risk averse, okay, and not buy a product to do that. I mean, I'm not saying, first of all, you would never buy 3 annuities. That's silly. You would buy one.
Right. Well, actually, it is through that state, plan, and so there would actually be 2 different ones, and they have a 3% COLA on them.
And what would your game plan be? Are you saying to me that you would take like your 401a or your deferred comp and take some money from that and create an immediate annuity from that?
That's right.
We'll get back to Annie in just a minute. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show.
Welcome back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger takes the mystery out of your finances.
Welcome back. It's Jill on Money. Let's get back to Annie from Washington State. What if you did this instead of doing 2? Okay. Mm-hmm. If you did, I'm just looking at say the 401a, that $103,000. Let's say I buy into this idea, which I'm not bought into. I'm assuaging your need to have certainty. What if you took that $103,000 from the 401a and you said, I'm going to buy an immediate annuity and I want to annuitize that to get paid out over 5 years. You pay the tax that's due, right? Mm-hmm. Every year on I'm going to be round numbers. It's not exact, but you get $20,000 a year extra. Okay. Now that $20,000 a year extra is probably all you really need for now because you have other money and you have laddered CDs that are coming due. And so you sort of do some nice combination of that and you don't have to touch any of your other money between now and then and life's fine. And if you did need money, you could just pull it out. Like you could liquidate that IRA you said is $12,000, right? Mm-hmm. You could just take that money out and be like, okay, I got $12,000. I'll pay tax on it. Your tax liability will be low and you can just pull the money out that you need and use it. The alternative, I guess, is that you have, which one would you do the second annuity with?
That would be the DCP.
That would be the 448.
Yeah.
So if the reason why I don't like taking so much money and put it into annuity is that you've lost the use of the money. Meaning you can't control it. If something happened to your kids and you needed like a big chunk of money, it would be in an annuity contract and you couldn't actually use it. You have a very short-term issue, which is essentially for the next 5 years, and again, if the business pays you, you're fine, right? But if in the next 5 years, you've got $1,100 a month, we need to create $5,000 a month. So we basically need another, bunch of money to bridge this period of time. And if you want to buy a contract to do that, I just feel nervous about putting so much money in a contract that then locks your money up. And I think that what we have to remember is this is all of your money. You can pull it out. You can do what you want with it. I guess before I would do any sort of annuity purchase, I would be very interested in saying, what are the alternatives? Because when you buy an annuity, there's a cost to it, right? So, I mean, we're trying to solve for this problem. If you say, I really just want to make sure I have 60 grand a year, okay, total money, like 60 grand that's available to me every year. And I know I'm only going to have 12 grand. Where am I going to get that other 50 grand? You can take it from your 401a, but you could just take 50 grand out of your pre-tax 401k. You could take 12 grand out of your IRA. You could just take the money and use that to live on and not worry about whether or not it's invested in a product that you can't use and that you can't touch and use as a whole basis of money that you are able to tap if something were to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think I'm not so concerned about the next, few years as I am when I'm 85 and 90.
Yeah, well, 85 and 90, we're in good shape because I look at it as the first 5 years are the big years. Once you get to age 70, right, we know that you have your own Social Security at age 70, right?
Yeah.
So that's $3,000 a month, right? So you have $3,000 a month at age 70 plus your $1,100. So we know that you have $4,100 a month, and that's taxable. So let's say, you need $6,000, which means you only need to take $2,000 a month from your accounts in some way, shape, or form. Okay? So you don't have to annuitize everything. You could do this right now. You could literally say, starting in June, you might say, I will turn on my 401a, turn that into an annuity for 5 years, or for all, I don't even care. You could do that, or you could just take the money out. You could say, I'm going to take 50 grand out this year and keep the rest of it in fixed income. Just keep it really boring. And then next year, do the same thing. And now the 401a is depleted. You could do the same thing with the 401k the following year. You can say, I'm just going to take that money out. That's the money I need for the year, the 82,000. And then you can start to do that with your deferred comp if you want to. But by the time you're 70, you don't need that much money. You just don't. You're going to be okay. And if it just feels so much better to do it, I would limit it. I would really limit it. I would say, okay, I'm going to take some portion of my annuity. I wouldn't do hundreds and hundreds of thousands, like, 100, 200,000, maybe. I don't even think I would do that much. But you can do this. You can pull the money out that you need. And maybe if you don't believe me, you could potentially look at talking to a fee-only financial planner who can help navigate this with you and just run some numbers. You have all the money you need. You're just trying to figure out the best way to get the cash flow that you need for the next 5. And then once you get to be 70, there's no problem. You could live till 95. You're going to be fine. You're totally going to be fine.
Oh, okay. Huh. Well, thank you.
You don't believe me?
Well,
I mean, really.
No, I'd like to believe you. Absolutely.
I mean, I really think you're going to be okay. It's that Social Security plus your pension is okay. And we're not, and I am saying, do I think that you're going to have guaranteed income of $4,400 a month forever? No, but I'm not even counting it. I'm counting that as a zero right now. But you've got a house that's paid for. You have $900,000, not including your CDs, a house that's paid for, and you've got income. You've got money coming in the door. I think you're really going to be okay, Annie. I really do. You're listening to Jill on Money. Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we are here trying to help lay out different options that might be available to you. You know, there's not just one way to get to your financial goal. There are potentially many different ways. Our job here, Mark and I, as certified financial planners, is to just outline what you could do. Now, we might try to nudge you one way or the other, but we also want to hear from you. So if you'd like to get in touch with us, go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note. If you want to join us on the show, that's so much better because then we can ask all those follow-up questions. Of course, we do emails like this one. This is from Keith, who writes, starting in 2026, the Thrift Savings Plan, that's the government retirement plan, will allow Roth conversions within the plan. The only caveat is you have to pay for the conversion with money outside of the Thrift Savings Plan. I was hoping to get your opinion on if I should start doing Roth conversion in 2026. If so, how much per quarter? Or should I wait until December of 26 to get a rough estimate of my annual income? Or maybe I should take a huge hit and do it all at once in January. Or maybe not do Roth conversions, leave the traditional money where it is, and put more money into the Roth TSP moving forward. My employer had a union contract ratified. I will receive back pay from May of 2023 in the summer of 2026. What should I do with that lump sum? Well, Keith, you raise so many issues, but we're missing some critical information. First of all, we don't know how old you are. We also don't know how much money you have already saved inside of this account and how much money do you have saved outside of this account. As you rightly point out, the money that you would convert would be added to your annual income and you'd need money outside of the plan to pay the tax due. But given that you're about to get this lump sum, maybe this is an idea, the conversion, that could wait till after you get that money. In any event, get back in touch with us. I'd like to know more details, and we'd love to bring you on the program to discuss this with you. That's a wrap for the hour. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show. We'll be right back.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome back. It's hour number 2 of the Jill on Money Show, and we are here answering your financial questions. If you've got one, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. If you'd like to join us live, check the box. Mark will do everything else. Let's get this hour started. We are talking to John, who joins us from Buffalo. Hello, John. What can we do for you?
Well, I'm thinking about retiring in the next few years, and I'm trying to get everything in order. I wanted to make sure that I was in a good spot, and I had a bunch of different numbers to crunch here, so I figured I'd give you guys a call and see if you can help me out.
That sounds like a deal. So, first of all, John, how old are you?
I am 53.
You're so young. What are you going to do for the rest of your life?
Well, right now I have a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old, so I plan on getting a minivan and going back and forth to sports for the next 20 years.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you're in I don't want to say old father, but you're a late stage father. And so are you still married?
Yes, my wife is actually 38. So
look at you! You must have a lot of money, or gorgeous, or both.
We got a big gap between us, so that is another financial wrench in there that we have to look into.
So, John, when we talk about your retirement, you said in the next few years. So, like, at what age are you thinking?
I can go anywhere. In my position, we have contracts that go out 3-4 years. And so my next contract is due up at the end of 2028. And then if that contract, we get a new contract, it could be 3 years after that. So I can go
ideally at the end of 28.
20, I would like to have a contract in place at the end of 28, so I can either decide on, the end of 28 or possibly 30.
How much do you earn right now?
Right now I earn around 140.
And does your wife work, or is she busy with that 4 and 5-year-old?
Oh, no, she works and she makes about 70.
Is your job, do you have any pension benefit?
I do.
Tell me about that.
We have a good setup where I work. My pension should be at the end of 28, should be around 100,000 a year.
Whoa. All right. And your wife, let's say it's the end of 20. Let's just kind of use 28 as the baseline. Let's say you get to the end of 2028, and is your wife, and you're going to get your 100 grand a year. Will your wife continue to work?
She will.
And
she is also in a pensionable job, but she is not nearly as close as I am.
No, because you know why? You robbed the cradle. What is her pension? Is she a teacher or a nurse or something like that, or is she in an industry?
Teacher.
Okay. So what's the earliest she could get her teacher's pension? At her age 55?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know what that number would be at her age 55?
I'm guessing she would probably be around 75 at that point.
Okay. Got it. Okay. And so when you look at your current income, you're 140, her 70. Do you guys live okay? You feel comfortable? Like how's the cash flow week to week, month to month?
Everything is good because I take out a lot for deferred comp. My wife takes out a little for deferred comp. The rest of it, we live pretty comfortably, and we still are able to do, the things,
you want to do.
Small trips for the kids and a nice house and decent cars.
Okay, great. If you were to guess what your real monthly expenses are, do you know that number?
I would say comfortably it would be about $5,000.
Okay.
For expenses.
Okay. And if you were to retire at the end of 28, what happens healthcare wise for you? Will you have healthcare coverage, or would you get it through your wife's job?
Currently, with my current contract at the end of 28, if I left before then, my family would have lifetime healthcare.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Fantastic. Okay. So how about the money you guys have saved? Tell us what you guys have. You said you're putting a lot away for deferred comp. So what do you have in deferred comp?
As of yesterday, I have about 900 in deferred comp.
Okay. What about her?
She does not have as much. She probably has 50K in deferred comp.
Do you have any, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you, that money, is that all traditional, not Roth? Is it mostly traditional?
It's mostly traditional. I have about I have another account, a separate account that has about $375 in it. And that is stocks and, mutual funds and things like that. And I have only about 45 in an IRA.
Okay. So the $375, that's just a plain old brokerage account?
The $375, yes. It is a brokerage account that I have through a friend of mine.
What do you mean a friend of yours? A financial advisor or some guy who's oh, he's a broker and he threw it in an account for me?
A certified financial planner, best man at my wedding since
so I guess we're not going to be able to fire him.
We will not be firing him.
I understand. Okay. So it sounds like you know that you're in okay shape. I mean, so let's go keep working through this. Any other assets? You said the 40 grand is, IRA, 375 in a brokerage, 950 for your combined retirement accounts. Anything else that's floating around out there in terms of an asset?
I have a house that will probably be, I have about 20 years left on my mortgage, but the house has almost doubled in value.
What's it worth?
About 657.
Okay. And how much remains on the outstanding balance of the mortgage?
About 330.
And what's the interest rate?
2.8.
That's beautiful. Any rental property, anything like that?
No, I do have a sick buyback program through my work that I will be able to sell upon retirement. Sell my sick days back.
How much is that worth?
It'll be worth about $140,000. You get 50% the first year, 25 the second year, 25 the third year.
Wow. Holy moly. So 70, 35, 35 is what we're looking at.
Ballpark, yeah.
Yeah. That's incredible. How about money in the bank?
I just have in that other account, I have about 40 in cash.
Any accounts for the kids yet? I was about to say retirement. 529 accounts or any accounts for education?
I have about 20 in that for the kids, and I add about 5,000 a year.
20 each or total?
No, total.
So, John, what's the question here? You know you got plenty of money. You can do whatever you want.
Well, with the age gap, my retirement offers to carry on over to my wife on me passing.
A joint and survivor. What's the amount of what's the reduction from that $100,000 a year that you would get if you wanted to have her participate in your pension for the rest of her life?
For 100%, it would be about $13,000 a year.
So that's $87,000. Okay. We'll get back to John in just a minute. If you've got a financial question, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. It's Jill on Money, and we'll be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. Let's get back to John from Buffalo. Mark, I just got to bring you on. Mark loves these questions about joint and survivor benefits. Mark, John's wife is 15 years younger. And so he's not in Belichick territory right now. He's not running that 50-year age difference. 15. Okay. If John takes a haircut on the pension, if you get joint and 100%, $87,000 a year instead of $100,000 a year.
Well, for me, it's a no-brainer. I would take the 100%. Even with the reduction, it still covers their monthly nut as things stand today. But I know John's also thinking about keeping it the way it is and then taking out a life insurance policy.
Well, okay. How's your health, John?
My health currently is fine. My family history is not the greatest. So that's why I always, and in my line of work, I tend to be a pessimist sometimes. So I plan for the worst and hope for the best.
I understand. What kind of insurance do you have in place already right now?
That is the main problem. I have just a $75,000 policy.
Through work?
Yes.
And does that go away at the end of 28?
I believe so.
Here's what John's talking about, everybody. Listen up. You get this big pension, right? And John's saying, hey, wait a second. What if I took my $100,000 a year fully for yourself and then just buy a life insurance policy that would be for the remainder of my life, a whole life or a universal life policy? You would buy it. You'd pay for that. Would you pay $13,000, or let's just say, or less for that policy in order to cover the benefit loss, right? So that's kind of what we're talking about. Instead of taking that haircut to the monthly pension, I'll pay for a big fat insurance policy. And then if I die, there's all the money she needs. I'm not sure it's going to work. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you, my friend, you and I'm going to say that we are compatriots. We are in our 50s. And you know what happens when you get in your 50s? Insurance is freaking expensive. Really expensive.
Correct.
So I would have your CFP run the numbers, but my guess is that you're probably going to be better off choosing the joint and 100% survivor benefit, not worrying about life insurance, because that will cost you money for sure. You know, it's going to be real money. And then she's taken care of. Like, if you were to pass away, she gets that $87,000 for the rest of her life. And then she's got her own income. You probably are not going to have to touch your retirement accounts. You're not going to have to touch that brokerage account. Like, I think it's pretty smooth sailing here. I really do. And she's got an affordable house. So I'm leaning towards, again, run the numbers with the CFP. But I'm guessing your CFP is going to look at this and be like, the insurance might cost too much and it's kind of convoluted. And why not just have the cash flow, do the planning, and be done with it? And, listen, the other thing this allows her to do is that if you were to pass away more like in 10 years instead of, hopefully 20 or 30 years, that she would have the income that she could maybe even say to her school system, I need to work a little bit less, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. Does she have a little bit of flexibility knowing she has her consistent income and she can make some different choices and have the money that she inherits from you? I'm just guessing. Again, I don't have the numbers in front of me because I don't look at quotes for whole life or universal life very often. So I think it's worth looking at it, but I don't, it's sort of called pension maximization in the world of financial planning. I'm just thinking that it might not be as good a deal. Now, that said, there's only one thing that sticks out to me beyond the insurance pension question. And that is, I don't think you're putting enough money into your kids' 529 accounts. How about that?
I agree.
Okay. So how much are you contributing to your retirement account right now?
I would say probably about 15,000. I'm at about 15,000 a year.
Okay. And your wife's putting in whatever she's putting in. You said sort of more minimal. Do you put money actively inside of the stock and mutual fund account or not?
No, what I usually do is there's dividends and stuff that come off the account, and at the end of the year I get a surplus, and I usually just tell him throw all that into the kids fund.
I see. I got you. I got it.
That's usually what I do because I have to take a certain amount. They make you take it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so it's not coming out of your cash flow. It's nice that it's there. Well, I'm wondering, let's presume, again, we're looking at 2028. Everything's good, fine and dandy. Let's just say everything's great. I guess the question is, for the next few years, would it make sense for you to pull back on the amount of money you're putting into I think your retirement numbers are great. You're fine. So I'm wondering if maybe you pull back and you say, I'm not going to put 15 grand a year in. Do you have a match in your plan?
No.
Okay. So maybe instead of saying 15 grand a year, what I might do is say let me put 5 grand a year, 5 to 10 grand a year, maybe just 5, and take that extra 10, pay the tax on it, and use that money along with your dividend and interest from your brokerage account, and put more money from those two funnels into your kids' 529 accounts. One of the things that you should talk to your CFP about is hey, you know what? The kids are so young and I really want to get some more money into their 529s. Maybe just say out of the 375, can you free up some money? Not everything, but let's say you sold $50,000 of stuff just to clean it up a little bit, right? Say, we want to clean it up, have fewer holdings, take the 50 grand, pay the tax on it, then put $20,000 each into the kids' accounts, in those 529 accounts. And then you're kind of supercharging them. You just want them to get some more money in that so that can see the same kind of growth that your stock and mutual fund portfolio sees, right? We just want to get some money in there, get the clock going. And, if you could do that this year, maybe do it again next year, and then I think you're really in a place where you are able to supercharge those 529 accounts. You don't have to sell everything. It's just it's a nice way to clean it up also. What do you think of that?
I actually like that idea a lot. I'm also a little bit concerned that pretty much everything I have in savings is pre-tax.
Yep.
My deferred comp is, 100% pre-tax. Everything that would come out of my sick incentive is pre-tax. Everything that I sell from the other account would be taxable. So
yeah, that's why I think that getting some money into those 529s, which are such tax efficient vehicles, right? As long as one of the kids goes to college, that's all you need. You don't even need both of them. And then that's why I'm saying pull back on the amount you're putting into the deferred comp right now. It's okay. Yeah, honestly, 5 grand a year for the next few years is fine. Use that money, get the account, the brokerage account cleaned up, supercharge your 529, and let's move on. And then you can look ahead. If 2028 comes and you get a contract, and you're like, you know what, Jill, I love this. I'm going to keep doing it. Keep doing it. Nothing bad's going to happen. It's just more time for you to work and put more money into the kids' college stuff. But your retirement, completely fine. So 2 things to talk about with CFP Buddy. One is, hey, if I buy a permanent life insurance policy, is that really a smart decision versus just taking the joint and 100% survivor? Just have them run the numbers, figure out how much insurance you would need to purchase, what the cost would be annually, and see if it makes sense. And number 2, clean up the brokerage account, sell some stuff, harvest some stocks, make it a more streamlined situation. Oh, last but not least, because you are older than your wife, do you have your estate documents done?
I do not. I've been looking into setting up a trust.
Why?
The pessimist in me wants to make sure that everything is in line for her in case.
You don't need a trust for that. I mean, you could do it, but just think about this. I want you to think about this with me for a second. Most of the money is going to pass by contract, meaning retirement account goes to her by contract. If you die, the brokerage account, is it joint or is it held in your name only?
It's in my name.
Make that a joint account right away. Or make it a transfer on death account if you'd like. But that has to go to her by contract. You just want that done. It cleans up the estate issue. But do me a favor. Go see an estate attorney. I don't think you need a trust. I really don't. But I think that it would be very smart for you guys to be in this together, having conversations, making sure things are happening the way you want.
Perfect.
All right. That's it. You're done. You're listening to Jill on Money. We'll be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. We are trying to help you make better or at least more considered financial decisions. If you've got a financial question, just go to jillonmoney.com and click the Contact Us button. While you're there, check out all the content that lives there. We've got 2 podcasts. One is called Jill on Money, Monday through Friday. We also have the Money Watch podcast, which airs on the weekends. And do sign up for our free weekly newsletter. It comes out every single Friday. A great way to tune up for the weekend show. And by the way, if you miss any part of this show, you can always catch up with us. Just go to the radio tab and you can catch any part of the program that you may have missed while you're on your merry way listening to the radio. See how cool that is? Again, all of that content that we create and is refreshed all the time by the fabulous executive producer, Mark, it is found at jillonmoney.com, our website. Just bookmark it. It's so much easier than having to find us every time. Right now, let's go to you. It is our listener, Teresa. She is joining us from Northern California. Hello, Teresa. How are you? What can we do for you?
Hello and good morning. Thank you for taking my question. I appreciate it.
Of course.
So like I said in my email, I basically want some kind of reassurance on the financial plan that we put together, or that I've put together as far as retiring early. I would like to retire early. I'm sort of inspired by my dad, who was able to retire at 49 and a half.
Wow.
With a small pension, and he's been very frugal and all of that. But, you know, in foresight, because he's in his 80s now and taking care of my mom who has dementia, it was great that he had that time to really have a nice retirement.
Oh,
yes.
That's an interesting way to think about that. You know, I'm always saying, you listen to the show, so I'm like, what are you going to do if you're retired? But there is something to be said for retiring while you're young and healthy and you can afford it and you can enjoy it before anything changes, right?
Exactly.
So to give you reassurance, I need some factoids. How old are you, Teresa?
I am 58.
Okay. And are we talking retirement like the end of this year or like in 2 days?
Within the next 2 years.
But if you wanted to do it, like if you could do it at the end of this year, you would like to. Yes?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. Let's say the end of this year.
Yes. Let's say
Just
that.
for fun. Okay. Are you married, single, partnered?
I am married.
Uh-huh. How old is your spouse?
He will be 60 this year.
Will he be retiring with you?
No, he operates his own business. He's very happy doing that. And he wants to retire or keep his business going as long as he can and or retire at 65.
All right. Fantastic. All right. So let's run through some of the numbers to see if we can get you out of there by the end of the year. So,
Sounds good.
Teresa, do you have any pension benefit that you would be entitled to?
No pensions.
Okay. Let's then talk about the money you've saved. What do you got?
Okay. For my husband, he has about 860,000 in IRAs.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little over $1 million in IRAs. We have in taxable accounts a little over $1 million.
And these are joint accounts that you guys own?
Yes,
Brokerage?
joint
Okay.
accounts.
Okay. I'm just doing 860, 1 million, 1 million. Keep going.
Then we own our own home, which is valued about $1.4 million.
Yowza. Is there a mortgage outstanding on it?
No.
This is Northern California. This is a big
Yes.
Will you be staying there?
Until our kids are sort of settled. There, we have two 20-year-olds. The younger one has graduated and is launched in her career, and she probably will leave the state at some point. So we will try to figure out where she goes within the next 10 years or so.
Mm-hmm. And what about the other? You said you had two 20-year-olds?
Yes. So the older one is working his way through grad school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do you support him?
No.
Oh, that's good. So they're kind of launched in that.
They're launched.
Okay. They're young, but they're launched. Okay. What about money in the bank? We just didn't go through that. You said brokerage. We stopped short of that. What about bank assets?
Bank assets, I would say around $100K, give or take.
Mm-hmm. And no other investments, no Roths, no nothing, just these two big fat IRAs, the brokerage account, the $100,000 in the bank account, and the house. Anything else?
No Roths. We have some smaller like college savings account. I think my husband has a TIA CREF annuity inherited, just some smaller things. Yeah.
How much is in that, the inherited TIAA?
I really don't know, to be honest.
All right. That's fine. You're allowed. Can you exist on your husband's income for the next 5 years from his own business?
I think we could. It is kind of a seasonal business, so it does make him worry.
How much do you spend? What do you think?
All in, we spend about $15,000 a month.
Oh, hello. You've got a nice spending. I like that. Good for you. Is it fair to say that if you were to retire at the end of this, how much do you earn right now, Teresa?
I'm consulting, so about $150,000.
And what's your husband's income? About? Be conservative.
I would say about the same.
And so you guys put money into your retirement accounts, and then you put money in your brokerage account, and like cash flow is great. But you think that's why that $15,000 a month is interesting to me. Okay. If your husband keeps doing this, let's just say he doesn't do $150 a year for the next 5 years. Let's say he does 100 just for the heck of it. In which case we would have to pull some money out of your accounts, specifically probably his account, because he's over the age of 59 and a half, right? To supplement you. Now, are you cool with that? Like you're going to have to pull some money out. Is that okay? Does that feel okay to you?
I would probably be okay with it. I think he would probably be more reticent. I think we can also bring down our spending.
Well, that's no fun. That is
that's no fun.
Not fun at all. If I'm going to retire early, I guess except that he's going to keep working. But okay. Well, one way or the other, you would probably kind of figure it out. So what I would think about doing would be, you're 58 this year. Also, what do we do for health insurance? Because maybe we can't pull that money, that $15,000, because don't you need health insurance?
Yeah, we pay that. That includes our health insurance premium.
Okay, good. I'm kind of happy to get this money out of your husband's account and like start to drain this account and pay the tax that's due and live on it. But I want to make sure you got enough money to live on once you get to claiming Social Security. So are you guys both in good health?
Yes.
Okay. Would you think about claiming it like 67 or 70, or what was your thought at this point?
My thought is 70 at this point.
We'll get back to Teresa in just a minute. If you've got a question, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. You are listening to The Jill on Money Show.
Welcome back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger takes the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show. If you've got a financial question you've been noodling around, get in touch with us. Just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. If you'd like to join us live, just check the box and we'll do everything else. Right now, let's get back to Teresa from Northern California. Let's say that over the next 10 years that we take, 80 grand out of your husband's account every year from his IRA account. So, right, we're not, you no longer have your 150, but again, we'd pull 80 out. He'd make what he makes. Then we'd pay the tax on that. And, I know you're in a high tax state, but like it would not change your tax bracket per se. You'd probably actually end up being pretty close to where you are, 22, 24%, right? And you'd take that and you would exhaust that account and live on that. You would basically say, this is the money we need to live on for the next 10 years until he claims Social Security. Do you know what his Social Security benefit is?
I think it'll be approximately $4,500.
And yours will be about the same?
Yes.
Okay. So we really just got to get you through this 10-year period, 12 years, where we're going to pull money out of his account first, then we'll tap your IRA, and maybe we won't even touch the brokerage account. Maybe we'll just we'll spend those dollars down from those two IRA accounts, use that. He'll take whatever the money he has to take out of his IRA, the inherited IRA. You'll spend, maybe you won't spend as much money. Maybe you will. We don't know. We exhaust some of your retirement assets. And so how would you feel if, let's just say you got to your age 70 and his age 72. He's no longer working his own business. Like we had him work for 5 years, but let's say you get to his age 72 and you're 70, and we've spent down his entire IRA account is done. Your IRA account, maybe we spend a few $100,000. Maybe there's like 700 grand left in your IRA, and maybe there's $1 million something in your brokerage because it's grown. So maybe it's $1.2 million. Okay. Now, how would you feel about that? Because what I am suggesting to you is I think you can retire, but you have to give yourself permission to spend down the money you've saved. And I'm worried that from the description of your husband, he may not love that so much.
No, he does not love the idea.
So how are we going to get him over the hump?
Well, I think with, at least having some kind of professional validation that it is possible. Like you and Mark saying, this isn't a horrible idea.
Okay, let me bring Mark onto the microphone, and then I have another idea for you to consider. So Mark, come on, join us. Mark loves spending other people's money. So Mark, how do you feel about Teresa and her husband just blowing through his IRA, eating away at her IRA, letting the brokerage grow, and, being okay until they start claiming Social Security? How do you feel about the next dozen years for them? Is that okay?
Oh, I feel fine about it, but he obviously doesn't. But yeah. And also, like you said, the brokerage account, you said the brokerage account is going to grow maybe by a couple $100,000. I mean, the brokerage account may very well double to $2 million by the time
it could. I'm just saying, I just went low just to give her a lower number to set her expectations. So look, I think you can do it. Now, there's another idea I have for you, Teresa, which is you could go talk to a fee-only financial planner and have them run these numbers for you and show him from a professional what that would look like. You could absolutely do this. And you'd pay some money, but whatever. Let's just say you say, hey, honey, we're talking about the next 30 years, hopefully, right? You're feeling reluctant. I'm feeling antsy. Let's go hire somebody. Let's pay him $5,000 or something to run our retirement numbers. And let's really look at it so we can both feel confident in this process. Do you think he'd spring for that?
We've actually done that in the past. We did that years ago when our kids were in high school. I think he'd be open to it. I think he'll just be skeptical because, first of all, he always hates paying for any kind of financial advice.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
Well, you just tell him, say, honey, I'm quitting. You do what you want to do.
That's right. That's right. You just go there and, where are those IRAs held? What firm?
Baird.
Do you have someone at Baird who can run the numbers for you again, update your numbers?
Yes, and actually my daughter is going to become a CFP, and she has run the numbers for us. So, but she's just, young, obviously. So
Yeah, but she could have someone, she could be like, I'm becoming a CFP and I have someone like, you can have someone do this. Or what you can do is he like a numbers guy? Because he can run the numbers himself. Have your daughter walk him through the numbers and be like, Dad, this is you know what I did for an exercise? I ran your retirement numbers and walk through it. Listen,
yeah.
He's going to do what he's going to do. Like, I can't convince him. I think you guys are in really fine shape. Do you hate your job, Teresa?
I kind of enjoy my job, but it's very intense a lot of times.
Yeah. I mean, I think that like your particular experience of having a father who could retire early and enjoy his wife and his family is informing you. And obviously something happened to your husband that's like informing him and freaking him out. So I understand both of those perspectives. It's just that that's when I think a financial planner can be really helpful, because that's when you can really say, all right, someone is a professional who does this and can really customize it and look at where we are. And, listen, it's just like your husband's going to be the kind of guy who goes to a doctor and is like, I don't believe that's my blood pressure. Like, that's what he's doing. I don't believe that. I'm stepping on the scale.
Actually.
You weigh 220 pounds. No, I don't. Okay. So like if he's unreasonable, then you're going to have to make your best decision knowing that your guys are going to be fine.
Perfect.
If there's something going on, you need some assistance, you need some guidance, don't carry this load on your own. We are here for you. Just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show. This is the program that is attempting to take the mystery out of your financial life, and we do that with you hand in hand. We need you to come onto the program or to write us to help us help you. So if you've got a financial question, if there's something going on in your life and it touches your money in any way, shape, or form, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and write us that note. And if you'd like to join us on the air, all you need to do is check the box, and Mark will do everything else. While you're on the website, check out all the content that lives there. We've got the free weekly newsletter, which comes out on Fridays. And you can also subscribe to Jill on Money Live. That is where you have access to quarterly live webinars for the next 12 months, the entire back catalog of those webinars, and bonus audio and video content. It costs $45. And boy, will you get your money's worth. In fact, our upcoming webinar is on June 5th, and that is with Mike Quincy. He is the Consumer Reports automotive expert. Thursday, June 5th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. He is going to guide us through what is happening in the crazy auto market after all of these tariffs have settled in. So Mike Quincy, Consumer Reports, but you've got to be a member of Jill on Money Live. Okay, let's get to the last question of the day. This is from Bonnie, who says, I've been seeing a lot about needing to update my Social Security card to my married name. I'm 73 and I've been married for 50 years. Why now? Or do I have to? Bonnie, I don't know if you have to, but I would encourage you to do so. It's so much cleaner to have all of the records up to date. So what you need to do is go to ssa.gov/myaccount. There you can create and update all the necessary information, and there it is, tidied up for you all at once. I really think that's the best practice for going forward, just to make sure everything's neat and clean. Okay, that's it. That's the program. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer. He's also the king of all things web, and we encourage you to lift someone up. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.